My name is Dee Hasty.
And my name's John Smith.
We are both 54, ex-professionals, had two of our own homes. I sold mine first, big mistake, just as the market slumped in Aberdeen. John then sold his and it stuck and stuck and stuck. Anyway, one thing led to another and we find ourselves homeless. Something I have never even considered the concept of. It made me fascinated with the concept of being homeless and fascinated with homeless people, but I am now one of those people. So it can happen to absolutely anybody. It took us 8 weeks from being evicted to get up the courage to come to Lily Walker. We spent a couple of nights in the car, we had a couple of laughs along the way, and on the goodness of friends, we managed 8 weeks. But you can't go on like that, and something had to stop. So we spoke to Dundee City Council, and the first reception that we got was very negative and very difficult. And of course, as you can tell from my demeanour, I am much settled, but you're very raw, very vulnerable, very overwhelmed. And the people that you are talking to are in charge of your life. You feel isolated, worthless, ashamed, embarrassed. But you have to deal with practical things. Where are you going to lay your head down? What is this doing to your family, your children, your grandchildren? On meeting Parveen, our lives changed. She took control, she empathised, she encouraged, and she said that she would sort something. So on Monday, I think it was Monday the 31st of July, we turned up with our bags, our life possessions that we had, and walked into the Lily Walker Centre like scared rabbits, maybe. We were treated with respect. We were treated with humour, kindness, and we were offered what I was led to believe was a bed sit. And we remember being asked if it was acceptable. How can someone who is homeless and asking for help say that something you're being given is unacceptable? It was more than acceptable. And the people that we met, Helen, Ewan, Ian particularly, and then the following day, Butch just kind of put humanity back in perspective. It was hard, but without the Lily Walker Centre and without that kind of support, I don't know where we'd have been. Now, John describes me as a bit of a posh bint, so when I speak to other people, they kind of maybe don't take to me because I've had a privileged upbringing. And yet here I am in a position of needing help from other people. So yeah, we met some characters. And there was a few laughs. And after the first night, and after meeting Butch, and after getting a little bit of help with the food bank, because we had actually nothing to eat, and I've never claimed benefits in my life. I've never asked anybody for anything. It took a while to get that kind of sorted out. So we were relying on the charity of others. And even taking that is quite hard to do. Sorry. However, positive steps gave me hope that I was being treated as a human being, as a normal person. I don't feel any different because I'm homeless. I don't feel any less. But I can remember sitting in the car and there was a homeless guy sitting on the street, and this has happened a few times with me now. And I look at him and I think, what's the difference between him and me? Why am I not doing that? I don't know if it's mindset, I don't know if it's choice, I don't know if it's determination. I don't know if I've been given more breaks or I've been given a hand up here and I've taken it. Because we are now in, we did spend 8 weeks at Lily Centre. That was a bit unfortunate. We had been asked to do a favour, and I would do it again. There was a disabled person coming in who needed access to the shower room, which we happened to be in. So we moved out of our room to give her the disabled room with a bigger shower. That process, in fact, put us about 2 or 3 weeks back, because it took my medical points off me and had to be transferred to the room across the hall, even though we were in the same building, before my medical points were put back onto me. People like John and myself have no concept how this system works. We are very much at the mercy of basically of you guys getting it right, of the funding being there, of people doing their jobs. Communication is always going to be an issue. Keeping people informed as to what is happening is probably always going to be a number one complaint of people. We never speak to each other enough. We don't tell people what's going on. And when you're in a position of gratitude for what you are getting, then I felt I didn't want to pester Parveen or pester the Letting 8 girls or pester the staff in any way to say, what's happening? Lily Walker Centre is clearly an assessment centre until the process moves forward. It's not somewhere you choose to be, but it's a centre of necessity, and it absolutely serves its purpose, and the staff are fabulous. They have to contend with a lot. We are now in a network flat, and I feel like I have been given my self-respect back. I have been given hope back. Butch has followed through. He has been there every step of the way, and he's made it feel like the officials in all this are approachable. We're not on our own, and life will return to some kind of normality. The fact that I have been in a position this week to have my children for a meal together in this home has given me more hope. So it's the little things, guys. I know that I am talking to people who have to make hard decisions on funding, and I know there's not a lot of money, but if it can happen to people like us, it can happen to absolutely anybody, and there, by the grace of God, it doesn't happen to you or yours.
I think Dee summed up what the situation was. What it's been like for a number of weeks now. I tend to be a bit more brutal. We're very grateful for what's happened, the help we've been given, the assistance we've been given. However, from a business point of view, a funding point of view, and previously having been a manager myself, I would say that certainly there is a need for funding for Positive Steps. The assistance that they've given through the individuals we've dealt with and continue to work with Butch, the help we're given is essential. We were put into a position and we were given very little backup at all, very little information. We were grateful for having a roof over our head, but there wasn't a lot of communication. Now, as Dee pointed out, we're not trying to pester people. We appreciate people have a job to do, but it doesn't actually help coping with a situation like this if we get no feedback at all. Positive Steps were probably the main point of contact we had, and we're grateful for the work that they've done. Now, if you're looking at funding issues just now, you need to make sure that these people are given assistance to follow through and to help people. I seem to be able to cope with most things, but this has been difficult. However, Dee has issues health-wise, and it does affect her a lot more than it does me. And only through assistance when given through positive steps and the information that's come through, Dee is actually at ease just now, as best she can be. Without that, she would have struggled even more than we are doing. So hopefully it's something you will consider if you're assessing funding, because there is a need for this.